RIMURU Go Back in Time by Rimu-chi. Preparations before battle. Third person POV. In the heart of a beautiful and prosperous nation, people enjoyed their days in happiness and harmony. At the center stood a grand castle, home to their wise and beloved king, Rimuru Tempest. Known not only as the ruler of his nation but also as the fifth true dragon, Rimuru led with wisdom and strength. Rimuru's POV. I was in the meeting room, surrounded by my loyal companions, Rigurd, Benimaru, Hakuro, Kurobe, the Kaijin brothers, Shion, Shuna, and a new addition, Suoka. Yes, I named her after Gabiru left. Why, you ask? Because she's going to be Rimuru's personal spy, rather than Soei's. Behind me, Beldora sat reading his manga, while my lovely second and third wives, Shizu and Rain, were nearby. This meeting was all about the threat of the Orc Lord. Soei, give us your report, I said. Soei pointed to the map before us. There's a large army of orcs gathering here, he said, indicating a particular location. They're moving toward the swamp, likely planning to strike at the lizardmen first. Suoka narrowed her eyes, analyzing the information carefully. So, they're attacking Itamafatha and other, aka Lizardman tribe. I nodded confidently. No need to worry. I already have a plan in mind. Just as I was about to continue, Soei interrupted. Rimuru-sama, he said with urgency. A dryad has requested an audience with you. A murmur ran through the room. Everyone looked at each other, surprised. A dryad's appearance was rare and unexpected. Let her in, I replied smoothly, surprising Soei with my confidence. After all, I already knew the dryad would be female. Moments later, the dryad entered gracefully. She moved with a natural elegance, her form radiating a beauty that seemed almost otherworldly. She was stunning. Welcome, trainee the dryad, I greeted. I am Rimuru Tempest, leader of this nation and the fifth true dragon. I'm certain you know who I am. Trainee looked taken aback, a momentary flash of surprise in her eyes, but she quickly regained her composure. As expected from a true dragon like you, Lord Rimuru, she said, bowing with respect. I come with a request. I nodded, my voice calm and assured. I anticipated this. Rest assured, we will handle the Orc Lord. Let's skip the rest of the meeting details, honestly, it's way too boring to recount in full. After the meeting, I sent Soei and Suoka to the Lizardmen village as my emissaries. Suoka, who had requested to become my subordinates, received my approval. I couldn't help but notice something intriguing. In the previous timeline, Suoka had always seemed to be fond of Soei. Every time she saw him, she would blush and act a bit flustered. This time, though, something was different. Whenever her gaze fell on me, she'd blush instead. Did something change for her? I couldn't quite figure it out, so I chose to brush it aside for now. Suoka had also been getting along well with Shizu and Rain, and they seemed to welcome her into our group easily. Well, I thought with a small chuckle, best not to overthink things. There's work to be done. It's confirmed. Suoka's in Rimuru's harem. Wahahaha. Stay tuned, readers, to see who joins Rimuru's harem next, but be careful, it might be your mom next. Wahahaha. Third person POV. In the Lizardmen territory, throne room. A lizardman hurriedly ran into the throne room, breathless as he approached the throne. Lizardman guard, panting, Chief. There's an intruder. He says he wishes to speak with you directly, and he has come with your daughter. The Lizardmen chief, a towering figure with scales gleaming in the dim light of the throne room, looked up, his expression shifting to surprise. Lizardmen chief, my daughter, you say? Very well. Let them come. One of the chief's guards shifted uneasily beside him, clearly anxious. Soldier 1, but my lord, are you sure it's wise? The aura around this stranger is powerful. And he has the princess with him. The chief looked at the soldier with a steady gaze. Lizardmen chief, have you felt his aura? Besides, he's with my daughter. I trust her. Soldier 1, yes, chief, but, is it safe? Before further discussion could continue, the throne room doors opened, and Soka entered with Soei, the trusted attendant of the great Rimuru Tempest, at her side. The entire room went silent, and all eyes turned toward Soka. She carried herself with newfound confidence, an aura of power pulsing around her. The chief's eyes widened in astonishment, noticing the striking change in his daughter. Lizardmen chief, eyes widening, daughter, you've evolved. And sir, you, judging by your aura, you're an ogre. Soei, nodding respectfully, yes, chief. After being named by the great Rimuru, I evolved beyond her previous form, an Oni. Soka stepped forward, bowing her head slightly with a serene smile that held something beyond pride, almost admiration. Soka, father, I was given the name Soka by Lord Rimuru himself, and this is Sui. The chief's expression shifted from shock to amazement, a flicker of curiosity deepening his gaze. Lizardmen chief, an Oni, so Sir Sui. You completely skipped the Kijin evolution. Soe. Yes, chief. This is the result of the naming ceremony under Lord Rimuru. A ripple of murmurs spread through the throne room as the other lizardmen struggled to comprehend this revelation. Evolving directly into an Oni was unheard of. Lizardmen chief. Soka, so Rimuru is now your master, is that correct? Soka. Nodding, with a faint blush, yes, father. My master, Lord Rimuru, wishes to form an alliance with you. Under the request of the Dryad, Lord Rimuru has pledged to defeat the Orc Lord. The chief's eyes widened even further at the mention of the Dryad's request, but he noticed the way his daughter's tone softened slightly at the mention of Rimuru. There was a trace of admiration, no, more than that, perhaps, reverence, in her eyes. A subtle smile touched his lips. Lizardmen chief. Astonished, a personal request from a Dryad. As murmurs filled the throne room, ranging from awe to skepticism, one Lizardman guard could not contain his suspicion. Lizardman guard 2. Rimuru. We do not know him, and how dare he name our chief's daughter without permission? Surely, he seeks our help out of fear of the Orc Lord. The guard's voice was cut off when Soka's eyes flashed with irritation. In an instant, she formed a thread of energy around the guard's neck, tightening it just enough to make her point. Soka. Coldly, insult my master one more time, and you'll lose your head. Lord Rimuru has shown us nothing but honor. You would do well to remember that. The chief raised an eyebrow, observing his daughter's fierce protectiveness over Rimuru. He felt a twinge of something else, had his daughter grown, attached to this Rimuru. Lizardmen chief. Daughter, let him go. Soe raised a hand in a calming gesture toward Soka. Soka, that's enough. Release him. Soka hesitated, her gaze still hard, but she withdrew the thread, letting it vanish. She exhaled, her gaze softening at the thought of Rimuru, as if she were remembering something significant. Lizardmen chief. Watching her closely, apologies, Soka. His words were out of line, and I will see to it that discipline is maintained. Soe nodded, accepting the chief's apology. He stepped forward, delivering the message from Rimuru with measured calm. Lizardman chief, regarding the alliance, I like to meet with your master personally before you decide. Soe, just a second inform Master Rimuru. Open double angle bracket Soe. Rimuru-sama, the Lizardmen chief wishes to meet with you. Open double angle bracket Rimuru, alright. Inform him that I will arrive in 3 days. Until then, they must not engage the orcs and must focus on defense. Also, tell him to be wary of Gabiru's actions. Soka should remain with them until I arrive. Soe disconnected from thought communication, turning to face the chief. Soe, my master, Rimuru-sama, will arrive in 3 days. He requests that you do not engage the orcs during this time and focus on your defenses. He also advises caution regarding Gabiru. Soka will remain here until his arrival. Lizardmen chief. Nodding, catching a faint spark of joy in Soka's eyes at staying, I understand. Gabiru's recklessness has been problematic. Very well, we shall maintain a defensive position until Lord Rimuru arrives. Soka. To her father, with a faint blush, father, you should know that Gabiru previously insulted Lord Rimuru when they first met. He even attempted to lay claim to Lord Rimuru's wife as his own. The chief's brow furrowed, frustration evident, but he couldn't help but notice the way Soka defended Rimuru with an intensity beyond duty. Lizardmen chief. Sighing, Gabiru, he truly has a talent for humiliating me. Very well, Soka. You have my permission to handle your brother if he tries anything foolish during this time. Soka. Smiling faintly, almost as if she were thinking of Rimuru's smile, thank you, father. I will ensure he causes no disruptions. The chief stood, his eyes lingering on his daughter. He couldn't ignore the warmth in her gaze whenever she mentioned Rimuru. For now, he'd let it be. Clearing his throat, he refocused his attention on the room. Lizardmen chief. All of you, prepare for a defensive stance. We will wait for our allies' arrival. Lizardmen soldiers. Yes, chief. With that, Soe respectfully took his leave, disappearing into the shadows, and the throne room settled into preparation, each warrior bracing themselves for the coming battle and the chief quietly mulling over the new bond between his daughter and her mysterious master.